Okay, it's Wellness Wednesday, and like always, I like to share pieces of nuggets of information and tools and insights and things that have happened throughout the week with my clients, with my process, with things that can give you a little bit of insight of why you might be feeling like you're feeling. And I'm talking specifically women who are especially in 45, 47 to 55, 60 years old, because this is a gap of when we are in transition in our life. So where some people may call it midlife crisis, some people it's like menopause, perimenopause, but I like to call it like a life transition because there are so many things that happen in this period of time that can be so awakening. So it's a little bit of understanding what are the things that we're feeling, why, and what are the things that we can do to make it better. And yesterday in a conversation that I had with a discovery call with one client, at the end we talked about, she said, well, I'm feeling so lack of energy and I don't know why I'm having such a hard time being consistent and disciplined in making the shifts. I know what I need to be doing. She knows it all, but she cannot do it. So I'm going to share at the end a little testimonial of her and the recording that she said and how amazing that was. Just one conversation with me, just allowing this space for her to be heard and for her to express what she was feeling and how this expression allowed her. She even had she almost choked because it's like her words, finally she was able to take out all the junk that was congested right here. This is a throat chakra, right? So when we're starting to speak our truth, when we have the space to speak it, is like we start beginning to choke a little bit, but it's choking because we're finally taking out all the things, the negativity, the negative thoughts, the emotions, the things that we have been buried for so long. So I invite you to join the conversation and also make comments on what insights you have as I am speaking. I would love to hear those insights. And if you're joining me live, do #live. If you're joining me in the replay, do #replay. That way I know that you're there. But as we were speaking and she was clearing up, there was tears, there was emotions, there was just a beautiful synergy of space, because what coaching does is give you the space that you need to voice all your challenges, all your discomforts, all the ideas that you have had for so long. And finally, I said, take a breath. And she said, I cannot breathe, right at the beginning. And then at the end, she said, I can finally breathe. So with one conversation, it made a completely change in rotation of her life. And we will talk about that in a little bit. So thank you for following me. Thank you for watching. And before I finish with that, I want to share with you some other things of my clients that had this week. And why am I sharing? Because these are empowering for me and they're empowering for you, and how little things, shifts, can make a big difference in your life, on your day-to-day life. So most of my clients, they have been having difficulty with changing their habits. That is, their habits of food, their habits of the relationship they have with their children, with their parents, with their spouses. And everything becomes kind of monotonous, boring. There's no energy. They might want to lose some belly fat or some big amount of weight, or they are feeling very anxious. Those are mostly the people that come to me, right? And they want to feel a little bit better or a lot better, but they have no idea. Everybody has tried all kinds of things, diets, exercise, fitness, nutrition, all the things, and it's like they're almost giving up. But they don't, because they then come to me and then, like Maaike, at the end of the conversation, they always say, thank you, because I think that you are the glue that is going to put all the pieces together and finally get that crossword puzzle finished so I can feel whole. And that's what they want. They want to feel free. They want to feel whole. So let me retract a little bit. And I have this client who, she said, Maaike, I have two things that I really, I don't know why this is happening. She had craving for chewing ice for the past year and a half. So it was an obsession, right? She needed to chew ice and she had no idea. So we're in our session number 5, which is a little bit of an adventure. In session number 6 or number 5 with my clients, we talk about being naughty and how we're lacking so much adventure and fun without sabotaging our health, right? Because a lot of times we're craving sweets and we're binging on TV, we're watching TV, or we're binging on sweets, or we're binging and overeating. And then there's a lot of cravings in the evening that she was also craving at night. She says, I cannot get rid of this craving at night. So she had the eyes and the craving late at night. And she had no idea why this was. And it's not only the food that we're eating, but also the emotions. So she said, Maaike, after the session that we had, I started doing some allowing myself to do more fun stuff and allowing myself to go past my anxiety and go and have an adventure and go together with my son and experience and have like a road trip and just enjoy eating different things, having conversations with him, just enjoying the moment, which before she was kind of feeling stressed out, but she adventured into doing that. And then she says, Maaike, guess what? I no longer have my ice chewing thing that I needed. And she said, I went into your resource guide that you shared with me, and I read that chewing ice was a lack of iron. So she started adding more iron supplement and foods in her diet, and within 2 days, she was no longer in need for chewing ice. How amazing is that, right? It's like something that was breaking her teeth. Actually, she said, I had to go to the dentist to fix my teeth because I was eating that ice, which is not good. And now with the iron, she is all good. And also I said, well, and how are your cravings at night? She said, those no longer exist. And that is only like 5 weeks, right? Within the coaching program, of which is 12 weeks, to have a new foundation. It requires some time to create new habits, and we have to go through all different things because we talk about all the emotions that are happening, what are her daily habits, and digging in, we realize what are the things and the patterns that are happening. So she already killed 2 birds, right, with knowing what the nutrition lack, and also having a little bit more fun and more connection with her loved ones, removed the cravings. So one thing is the food that we eat, but also it's very, very important, the other 50% are our emotions. So if you have been struggling with losing the weight maybe, or not overcoming some sort of illness, 50% are the things that you're eating, but 50%, or actually 80% are 20% is what you're eating, and 80% are the emotions or the state of mind and mood that you are being while you're eating. And all this is important because when you're in a relaxed state, your body allows it's relaxed, so it's in digestive mode. And when the body is in stress, all the it's like our digestion shuts down, because all the energy goes to the extremities, so that we can have more alertness to escape from danger or to address the solutions that we need for the day. So I have talked about this before, but when we're in a state of stress, then our digestion does not work. So we don't have the possibility of absorbing the nutrition, and then of course we feel lack of energy, right? So it's all the things. So only when we have conversations, all these happens. So there's insights, and there's finally a change of habits that occurs. So I also wanted to share with you a funny insight from another client. And she said, well, Maaike, I did really good this week, and I ate a great meal. I felt really satisfied, and I was surprised that I actually felt more satisfied sooner. Before, I would have eaten so much more because I was having fun. I was having a meal at a restaurant with my family, and I would have felt so bloated and so bad like I used before. But this time she was able to stop herself, because she realized she was already satisfied. So they learn a breathing pattern that helps them reduce the stress, so that they can digest better, feel satisfied, and notice when they're satisfied. And she said, well, I was not hungry at 8 o'clock, but I still went and ate an apple. I said, okay, so what led you to eat an apple? And she said, well, because I fear that if I don't eat the 3 times of the day, my internal organs will start shutting down. They have to be starting to work. So she was not believing in intermittent fasting. And I said, well, where did that idea come from? And I'm going to share with you. She said, well, now that you ask me that, when my child was 1 year old, he had cancer at 1 year old. He had a little bit of cancer, and they had him in a tube feeding, and it was a tube feeding directly to his stomach. And the doctor said back then, well, we have to keep feeding the baby, because if not, his organs will stop working. Well, from there on, she decided that she needed to eat 3 times a day. And because that is the staple, right? It's like we all know that that's the culture. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner. Well, in coaching, we learn, and my clients learn, that we have to learn to listen to our body and feed it when it's hungry, and know when it's not hungry, and when to stop eating. That creates awareness, because that way we're in alignment with our needs and satisfying those needs. So it's not the same for everybody. So being in a diet or eating at a certain time, maybe you're eating when you're not hungry, maybe you're overeating when you're not hungry, or leaving yourself starve for many hours. And then, of course, when we're starving, we cannot even think, and then we start making crappy choices, crappy decisions. So she learned that from that story, is like, it's okay to adventure this week, and really toning in her awareness of what her body was telling her, and how she's gonna start honoring her body's needs and nobody else's needs. So that's how you start taking ownership of your body, your health, and you become unstoppable, because now you create your own way. So now I want to go back into that testimonial of this client that had a discovery call with me. And her birthday was yesterday, 47 years old. And she said, Maaike, I booked this call as my birthday gift. I finally had the courage to book the call, because this was number 3. She said, I had canceled because I was not brave enough. to speak up for myself of what I was dealing with. So she was dealing with certain antidepressants and making bad choices that she was not happy about. And she finally this year, she said, I want to make this a complete change in my life. So I'm going to share with you, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share I don't know if I can share my screen actually. Let's see if I can share my screen. I didn't think about that. I was wanting to share my screen so that you can see the testimonial. Hold on, we're all learning here. I should have tried it before, but hey, we get to learn, right? Settings. Let's see, stream. Okay, so I will have that as a testimonial so that you can listen to it, and you cannot see her, but you will be able to listen, and I will increase the volume. How did you feel before the call? What is one emotion that you had before this call? And what did you feel in the middle? And now how are you feeling just from this discovery call?
I hate that word. I say all the time. So I even wanted to cancel before the call. I wanted to come up with any kind of excuse or reason. There wasn't one. Back in the day, I would have made up one, right? So today was clear after the 3 times that weren't clear before, for me to get here with you in this moment. And before, I would have felt, and I keep saying before because that's been part of my journey, is there would have been so much anxiety that I would have been physically sick that I wouldn't have been able to come on this call. So getting on this call, there was a little bit of fear just in the unknown. Having had already talked to you though, and just getting to know you, not even really getting to know you, but just having interaction with you the last couple months, it wasn't really fear, it was just the unknown, right? Like, the vulnerability, knowing that I would have to be vulnerable and say some things, all things that is crazy that, you think. But one of the things that I love, and, even how my throat chakra got all caught up, is that, we have to speak these things, and have these one-on-ones. Like, I believe them to be very powerful, and why I feel like God too has connected us is because this is the next thing that I need on my journey, to take me where He wants me to be. So even in the midst of the tears and us talking, and at one point not being able to joking, literally, right before in the end, you asking me here how I felt, there was a overwhelming euphoria feel, like my entire body went on a feeling of where drugs used to take me. Like, I felt something whoosh through my body and spirit, and it was very calming. And it's a pretty powerful thing to know that, the Holy Spirit can move us that way, where we don't need things in our life to move us that way. So I've been experiencing, and I think that's, too, with the meditation and the different things that I've been doing these last months and feeling those things, and being right on the breakthrough of the next big thing, I self-sabotage and don't let myself get there for whatever reason that I can't wait for us to get to. But so yeah, I'm excited.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing So what are you looking forward to this journey with me?
Just the freedoms that, like you said, um, feeding off of each other, because it's not just a me, it's an us. And knowing that just like when I'm connected with somebody, the things that we all need from each other to get to our next powerful, I don't even call them levels anymore. I just unraveling the healing, so that we can all be free. And I'm really excited for the new freedoms that I get to find with you.
Thank you. Because when we heal ourselves, we heal part of the bleeding of the world, of the universe, because it's bleeding, right? And bleeding also, your menopause, you're starting to menopause. So that's the stopping of the bleeding that is healing a part of you. So that is another thought about that. It's like you're no longer bleeding because now you're finally healing. When there's healing, there's no more blood, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, thank you. So as you can see, I hope you were able to hear that precious, beautiful testimonial. I apologize that it was not being able to, we're not able to see it, but I hope you were able to hear it. So now she is so looking forward to make this year a better relationship with herself, because she said she needs to improve her relationship with herself, with her daughter, and with her mother. When all that happens, she will feel so much freedom, and also she's looking for an ideal partner. But we cannot find an ideal partner if we have not healed, because in every relationship, there's 3 relationships. It's the one we have with ourselves, the relationship that the partner or the other person has with themselves, and then there's a 3rd relationship, which is a relationship we have with together, right? So like I said to her, it's not 50-50 to complete 100, and take this into consideration when you're thinking about your relationship with your children, with your parents, with your spouse, or your significant other. It's not 50-50 because you're not there to complete their needs, and they're not there to complete yours. It's your fulfillment together with another fulfillment. They make 200%. And that is what I help in my coaching program, is like how to become the best version of you, fill all the little gaps, fill all the holes, so that you can feel 100% wherever you go, for your business, for your relationship with your children, with your family. But because when we feel good, our families also feel good, and then we all feel better, right? There's no so much stressed around, because now we can speak up with what our needs are, and they can come and help us with our needs, not complete them, but they can help us. So I want to share with you that my M&M coaching method, that's what I shared with her, is 5 simple steps to connect to yourself in ways that you have never thought possible, as you could see here. Create better health and have more energy, to understand why is it so hard to break the habits, so that you can that keep you stuck, and how you're gonna start breaking those habits. Because when you learn where they're coming from, you let go of them, and then you create a new one to overlap that one, and then you start feeling better. So I want to invite you on Friday. I am going to do a little masterclass. So if you're open to voicing what your challenges are, if you have been dealing with a lot of menopausal challenges, or just health, or you just want to feel better, and you want a space where you can be heard, I'm going to do this masterclass on this Friday. Let me know in the comments if you want to participate. That way I can share with you the link for you to attend. I hope this gave you some insight. Let me know what you're thinking on the comments, and I look forward to sharing more with you next week. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed week.